Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Señoras y señores, live! It's time!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time. We are live in the Action Lab, your premier sports and entertainment talk show on the internet, and we are here with you on a Sunday night. We are all wrapped up with the NFL draft. We got the NBA, NHL playoffs happening as we speak, and it is it's that time. Scotty, welcome back. We got a lot to cover.
Yeah. There was apparently a draft that happened. Few basketball games, few hockey games,
Just a couple.
all the things.
Just a couple.
That Nuggets game was kind of boring.
The Nuggets game was boring. Avs underwhelming in there. Hey! Chairman, let's go. Chairman popping in. We had a little tailgate.
I'm back, baby.
Yeah. Updating some things. We got Riley. Thank you for the 40 months. I've been and we have a hype train. Hey.
Let's go.
Let's do the real sound effect now. Let's go. The train is off and running. I've been playing around with a lot of alerts and a lot of different new graphics and things. And we're going to be doing more of it. So it's great to see that everything's working. Just we need P3 to come back and do some of his jokes to make sure that's working okay. But thank you, Chairman, for the raid and joining us for the post-tailgate main event. So here we are, live with you. Hope you had a great stream. Go give a follow to Chairman of the Board if you haven't already. Thank you also to Riley for the 40 months. 12 months at tier 1.
There's no in hell that she's been only subbing for 12.
12 months at tier 1, 40 months. What's up, Storchio? What's going on? Raid. Yes, sir. Guess who's back? That's right. Welcome. Yeah, Scotty's back. What's up, Joe? How you doing? Guys, it's been a crazy weekend. We've had a lot going on. Scotty, I didn't tell you this, and Chairman, you were kind of getting some of this in the Discord, but met up with Cuban Benny over the weekend and saw some.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, hung out with Cuban.
He's a real person.
Cuban's a real person. He's a real person, and he's here. Hey,
Back, baby.
hey,
All
let's
right.
go. Keep close. Thank you for the resub. 27 months. The train keeps rolling. Let's go. What's up? Keep close. We have a everyone's popping in tonight. Let's go. No, Cuban Benny got caught up with him for the first time ever. And yeah, he's doing great. I mean, he's been taking care of a lot of stuff in his personal life, but it was great to be able to meet up with him. We watched some of the NFL draft. We watched the Nuggets get absolutely torched. This was the day they got absolutely blown out.
So first and last meetup with Cuban. Then.
So yeah, first and last.
Can't have that juju out there.
No. Probably not. So yeah, so kind of crazy, but it was good. It was great hanging out with some of the lab rats. We got to do that more often. And
where'd you guys go?
Went to Sportsbook, just right down the street, over on Arapahoe, off of Arapahoe.
Okay, the Arapahoe one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we hung out. By the way, he brought Medusa from our chat. Medusa was with him as well, so she was hanging out with us for a little bit there.
Did you get stoned?
Oh no, I did not. I made sure I didn't get the eye contact, but it wasn't the eye contact that was getting people stoned that night. So just saying. Hey-o. But it was great. It was fantastic. The Broncos got their. I think that was the night 1 of the NFL draft where it was kind of like just waiting. The local radio station was at the bar that we were at, so it was Cecil Lammy. Cecil Lammy was chilling there.
It was like which station?
Yeah, the 104.3 The Fan. Cecil Lammy, and by the way, their coverage, no offense, kind of sucked. But
can't hang.
No.
Can't hang with us.
No. If they really wanted the real stuff,
Cecil's fine, but Cecil also thinks he's just like the smartest guy in the room.
He does. He gives off the vibe of he's like this. He's kind of like a guru when really like does he know his shit? Yes, but he comes off Mel Kiper-ish. You know what I'm saying? A little too much. So yeah, and then that was the only thing happening. I mean, I was more given the Nuggets were getting blown out by 25 for most of that game, 20. I was basically just cued into the NFL draft all night long, watching all the different updates and changes as teams were drafting that first evening. So we're gonna get into a lot of that. There was a lot of crazy things happening. So we'll dive into that here in a second. But Scotty,
Storchio, I think Chris and I both are altitude guys. We're not the fan guys.
no, we definitely Storchio.
I'm altitude.
Yeah, Storchio, we're definitely on the altitude side. I listen to altitude exclusively. Whenever it's on commercial, I'll maybe tune in a little bit to see what they're talking about on the other one, but nah, it's all altitude. That's the way to get all the coverage. They've been doing it right from the beginning.
Love the morning show on altitude.
Hey,
Okay.
pronounce the
What is this?
name. This is. I got to get a new graphic for this. This is I've got some redeeming. And I got to update some sound effects. Okay, well, we'll work on these, but yeah. Woo!
Yeah, just had to test it
I gotta
out.
get the Ric Flair woo back, you know?
Yeah.
So and all the others. So it looks like everything's working just fine. And we're on the right track here. Let's see. I gotta pronounce Yaya Black.
Black. It's not hard.
It is not Yaya.
Yaya. I mean, I don't care what you say, his name is Yaya.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking at first.
It's obviously
It's,
Jaja.
No,
Yeah,
Jaja
Binks.
it's Jaja Binks. Jaja Black.
It's Waya.
I
Waya.
still think it's Jaja. That's what I'm going with.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, there we go. So, Scotty, you just got back from your trip. How was the West Coast? You were chilling in San Diego, playing some golf. How was the weather? What did you anything to write home about?
Just took a private plane to San Diego. That was lovely. Did I golfed Torrey Pines 2 days, so the north and south course. Got to play Torrey for the first time ever, which is a PG. Chris, maybe you don't know, PG event is held there, and U.S. Opens have been held there before in the past. So I played about as well as whoever's winning those tournaments typically plays. So I crushed it. No, I played okay, but not bad, but not good. So pretty standard for me, I guess. But
Only a
yeah,
plus 20 with handicap.
a lot of delicious food, a lot of drinks, Chris. Everything was free. So and I mean everything. It was outside of the stuff, the merch I bought in the Torrey Pines golf shop. That was about it. But everything else was free of charge. And when that happens, Chris, you just, hey, why not have another tequila soda?
Why not?
Or 5.
Just or 9 or 10. Yeah. Get up there, man. Enjoy it. Take advantage of it while you can. Yeah, it's a great trip. It's a great trip, and I'm jealous every time you say you get to go, and I'm just like, stash me away in a suitcase sometime. I'll be good for it. I could find a place to stay somewhere nearby.
I'm already a pretty good +1, Chris. I don't know if we can do +2.
I'll be a sub if you need a sub. So anyways, yeah, you said you didn't have a chance to really watch the draft, but you kind of based off
golfing and stuff or dinners or whatever. But yeah, I've seen some stuff.
But based off our Discord, which I don't know if you were following along in our Discord, there's a lot of things that we were keeping tabs on over the course of the NFL draft. So what do you say we start there? We'll start there. We'll cover the draft. First of all, guys, if you're new to the channel, first time ever being here, my name is Chris. This is Scotty. We are your host for the Action Lab, your premier sports entertainment talk show on the internet, and we are live every Wednesday, every Thursday, and every Sunday. So we will.
We haven't been live on Thursday for a long time.
Even though we haven't been live on Thursday for a long time.
Quiet, Rec.
Yeah. Pipe
I'm
down.
live every Thursday. What are you talking about?
He's not lying. He's not lying. So yeah, hit that follow button, guys. We are live actually on YouTube as well right now. So our YouTube channel, we're always throwing some content on there. We did a lot of our pre-draft stuff. We did a lot of our predictions for the NBA and Stanley Cup. So yeah, we did all of those things. You could find all those at our YouTube channel. there's the social links. So go ahead. YouTube, by the way, make sure you're over there hanging out with us on YouTube, especially when we're live. We're trying to grow the YouTube side of things as well. So try to be in multiple places. If you're in multiple places, you can be found in so many different ways, Scotty. Just how
in this case too.
So yeah, we'll be like the wind everywhere. So, all right, let's dive in to the NFL draft. Now, Scotty, we had the NFL draft that obviously came through, and Green Bay, great hosts from what it looked like.
It sounds like they got 600,000 or something like that over the course of the 3 days.
Yeah.
Like every day they had more fans at the draft than there was population of Green Bay.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I guess my question is like, how does the infrastructure work there? Where's everyone staying, and where are you eating? Are there enough restaurants? Like, I'm confused, but I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Yeah. No, it seemed like they did. I mean, look at all the people on the screen right here. I mean, there's a lot of people there. So over the course of the weekend, it seemed, and it was packed every night for the most part. Clay Matthews coming out. He did his initial little monologue, which I don't know was run by old Roger Goodell here, but I thought, did you hear the beginning of it where it was like everyone's just like on the edge of their seats? He was like, talk to Donald Trump, and he has a message. I was like, oh.
I did not hear that part. I heard, did he hate on the Bears?
Yeah. He was like,
I heard that part.
He was like, and the Bears still suck. And he was going out there.
WWE of him.
Yeah.
You know what he's trying to do? He's trying to do what Pat McAfee did years ago.
Yeah.
To get a job like Pat McAfee has.
Maybe.
So going through the draft, Scotty, I don't think there was really a lot of surprises initially at the first. We had the trade, right? We had the first pick.
Big trade with the number 2 pick. Yeah.
Correct. So we had a little bit of some things moving around there, but the first overall pick went exactly how we expected it to go, right? We had a feeling that Cam Ward, his overwhelming odds were that he was going to go first. He did end up going first. But that's where all the things started happening, where obviously the Cleveland Browns at number 2 traded back for the Jacksonville Jaguars to slot in and pick up Travis Hunter, our boy out of CU, going to the Jacksonville Jaguars, which, you dodged a bullet going to Cleveland. you don't have to go to Cleveland, but it's still.
After the fact, you know what I considered? Like, does Cleveland, if they stay at that spot and take Travis Hunter, do they end up drafting Shador? Because then, if you're drafting Shador with Travis Hunter is going to be like, I'm playing with my boy. Like, don't even think about playing somebody else. They may not have taken him. And frankly, Cleveland should have stayed in the spot because he's too good of a prospect to pass up on. But they did get a lot in the return haul, so we'll see how they waste those picks and stuff. But
yeah,
they'll trade for a quarterback next year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
and the other interesting part was, Jacksonville's coach, who I'm drawing a blank on, who really knows how to
Duval,
said he's going to mostly play wide receiver, which I think a lot of teams assumed he'd predominantly be a corner, but he said he's going to play offense predominantly. So Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas Jr. is a pretty filthy outside pairing.
It's because he wants to get paid.
No excuses for Trevor Lawrence now. No excuses.
The sunshine, the prince that was promised, that is finally getting some weapons. That, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how much he does play on the defensive side of the football, though, because I mean that was a big piece of what he was doing in college. That again, you get this kind of hybrid situation. I mean, officially, if you look at ESPN, he's actually listed as a corner, at least on their draft board on the rounds of the draft. So, but hey, rocking that. And then you had so Travis Hunter, going to Jacksonville. Still not a great landing spot for, but you're at the top of the draft, so it is what it is. But at least you got some good weather to deal with down there in Jacksonville. And I think that's for him, a way better spot than Cleveland. But
oh yeah, I don't think anybody wanted to be in Cleveland. In fact, did you see the quote from Dion? It was like 5 years ago. He's like, I like what Cleveland's doing in this draft, but if I'm a young quarterback, I pull an Eli Manning and refuse to go to the Browns. And now your son's there. So
it was really funny. Because he said that Shaduri get drafted in the top 5. He wasn't wrong. He did get drafted in the top 5 rounds.
Top 5 rounds. Yeah.
Yep.
He didn't specify.
Yeah.
Didn't specify.
In the chat, Wisconsin's pretty nice, to be honest. Green Bay, Milwaukee are pretty nice. Saw Trump tweeted Shador should have been drafted already. Yeah. You're going to the other side or the other train wreck of Jacksonville. He's also a Florida guy anyway. He's coming home more or less. Yeah, that's true. I mean, he was in Florida, right? So yeah, it fits.
He's from Florida.
It fits. So all right, so there you go. And then we had Abdul Carter come off the board at 3. Will Campbell at 4. Cleveland traded back, got the 5th pick where they took Mason Graham, defensive tackle out of Michigan. Shout out to Chairman's boys. So then we were like, okay, so no Shador. Where's Shador? If he's gonna go in the top 10, there's a couple options here. The Raiders could be a potential option. I know they have Geno, but at the same time, like, is the future quarterback on that roster? Probably not. So then you're like, okay, Raiders, interesting. Go with Ashton Jeanty, Scotty, which I've heard some people love the pick. I don't know if I love that for the Raiders. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know if I do. Only because
I like it for the Raiders.
Only because, I mean, how good is the offensive line and how good is that coach at putting I mean, you're going to have to. You drafted this dude at 6 overall. So you're going to need to utilize him, and you put in situations that are just more plays for him. But I just don't know. There was a couple Raiders fans that I saw on Twitter that were like, this is the worst thing that could happen because our coach doesn't love running the ball. He's not good at calling plays running the ball. And
Wait. Pete Carroll doesn't like running the ball?
Well,
that's not accurate at all.
I mean,
if you asked any Seattle fan, they would say he likes to run the ball too much.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. And then the offensive line. The offensive line was a question. So can he be successful with maybe an offensive line that's not so great? I mean, we'll find out.
I think it was a good pick by them. And I'm not usually a take a running back high guy. But Pete's going to want to run the ball. They have nothing at the running back position. I thought it was a fine pick for the Raiders.
Chairman, he doesn't like it when he's on the goal line in the Super Bowl.
Oh, I know all too well about that. Lost a lot of money on
that. Yeah.
So, yeah, Ashton Jeanty goes to...
The SCG's talking about Carroll. Just ran the ball 3 straight times to punt it.
Yeah.
Then we move on to the latter half of the top 10. And old Tet McMillan. Little bit of a reach here for the Carolina Panthers, going 8th, which we knew he was climbing up on the draft boards. We knew that he was going to be probably more at some point. He was with the Broncos at 20. A lot of mock drafts had him, but I was like, there's no way he's going to go higher. The way they're talking about him, the way that there's the depth of this wide receiver class isn't as high on the top end. Someone's going to be desperate and take him earlier. And sure enough, Carolina takes him at number 8, first wide receiver off the board. So, Scotty.
Yeah.
Tet McMillan going to, given Bryce Young, who actually had a really good end of the season last year, giving him a little bit of a weapon to throw to this year.
Yeah, I mean, I like Tet. Obviously, the concern with Tet is, does he care about football? Maybe not. He said so himself, basically. I think he's a pretty solid going to be a pretty solid wide receiver. I mean, he's big. His catch radius is perfect. He's good on 50-50 balls. He runs good routes. He's not a burner, so he won't maybe separate going deep a lot. But other than that, he's kind of the whole package minus that. So big body, 6'4".
Like during the draft process, he was seen as in the tier of his own, and then it was the next group with Ibuka.
I think he has far more upside than like Ibuka. Ibuka's like a great floor, not maybe huge ceiling guy compared to Ted, who might have a lower floor but has a much higher ceiling than Ibuka, in my opinion.
Is he a Kyler Murray who cares about Call of Duty XX weekend more? Maybe. Yeah. He probably does. He probably studies that more than he does football. That's for sure. He's gotta get all that double XP, son. And shout out to Kyler. Kyler catching strays in our chat right now. Then,
well, he probably deserves it.
Then we had another surprising outcome at the end of the top 10 with Colston Loveland getting taken by the Chicago Bears, which a lot of people thought maybe Tyler Warren was the guy that was going to go a little bit, higher up than Colston. Colston's still in the top 20 range given his talents and what he was going to be bringing to a team in the NFL draft. But the Bears, Colston Loveland is their guy. And did they make the right choice over picking Tyler Warren, Scotty?
I it's probably about preference. I think most people assumed Tyler Warren was going to be the first tight end taken. But I guess there was a ton of buzz leading up to the draft where supposedly there were other teams making calls wanting to move up for Colston Loveland as well. So maybe they didn't reach here because if they didn't, I mean, there was other teams interested in this range at looking at Colston Loveland. He's a great route runner. I mean, he's a pass catcher. He's not as big or doesn't play as big, at least, as Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren's going to probably be more inline, he's bigger at 256 to 248, so about 10 pounds heavier on Tyler Warren. But he's a great pass catcher and another weapon for good old Caleb Williams. So I don't hate it. I wasn't like, oh, that's such a phenomenal pick, but I don't hate the pick.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the two tight ends at the top of this draft were pretty comparable overall. I mean, the difference between one and the other, maybe a couple little attributes here and there, but generally, I feel like I think it's manageable. I don't think that was an egregious move necessarily when I first saw it. I was like, wow, that's surprising. But either way, both of them are going to be going very, very quickly after the other one's taken. So didn't really matter to me, but a lot of people were pretty surprised about it. So,
and I think everyone knew that the Colts were going to take a tight end if there was one left of those two.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And Tyler Warren falling right to them. It's like obvious choice is obvious.
Yeah.
Correct.
They were not secretive about what they were doing.
They were doing
it was just the craziest smokescreen ever, but then it wasn't.
They were pulling the best Denver Nuggets impersonation from last year when they drafted Deron Holmes, and everyone in their mom knew that he was going to be a Denver Nugget. They were doing everything they could. That's kind of how it felt like the Colts were trying to target their dude, a tight end that was left. So then you get into the middle teens, or the double digits. You're getting into, you get the Dolphins, the Falcons, the Cardinals, all taking their guys.
You skipped the Cowboys taking a guard at 12.
Yeah,
it's disgusting. I don't care if he's the best guard ever. Like, I hate taking a guard when you have the number 12 overall pick in the NFL draft. It's gross.
I mean, it's obvious why they did it, though. They need to load up on their Tylers.
It's true. They do like the name Tyler. They do like, and there was a lot of smoke with them that they were interested in Tet potentially, except it sounds like their head coach wanted no part of him. But the football ops side or GM and stuff wanted.
Yeah, By
One
that you mean
attempt,
Jerry.
potentially. Yeah, well, Jerry likes them big, you know.
Hey, we got Joe. By the way, I forgot to announce our bits. If you want your message read, it's 25 bits. Otherwise, you're just it's just the sound effect. But I'll read it out. Don't worry. I got a false breaking news story at the Cardinals pick was in. I thought maybe they selected a new pope. Hey, I mean, yeah.
Where should you start drafting a guard in this first? And the problem is all the mocks I saw had. I mean, he's the top guard on everyone's board, but like a lot of mocks I had him going like early 20s or early to mid 20s, and I feel like that's a much better place to take a guard. It's just not positional value, and like the Cowboys, well, who knows? They could be picking this high often, or maybe not. Like, you really don't know what to expect out of the Cowboys next year. But I did not love the offensive guard pick at 12 at all.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys, they kind of pride themselves on trying to get dudes in that offensive line, and they've kind of struggled here and there, especially with injuries in recent years where that guy just can't stay healthy. Maybe they're just trying to get some depth, but again, to your point, 12 is it's a pretty high position here to be taking an offensive guard.
And they're also trying to replace probably the best guard in the league that just retired.
Yes.
Yeah.
Zach Martin is gone.
So here's the thing. Now we start, as we were getting further into this draft, as you start getting to the late teens, this was where all the storylines started emerging, right? Because you had some interesting things going on around pick 20. Because one, Shedeur Sanders is still on the board. Two, you got the Broncos, which obviously I'm a Broncos fan, so I'm looking out to see what they're going to do. And it's a very strategic spot for the Broncos, right? Because they're sitting right above Pittsburgh. And this is a point where, you can say, all right, Pittsburgh needs a quarterback. Shedeur is on the board. He's not going to go to basically any of these teams that, we think are going to be ahead of him. But the trade-up value for a team that does want to get him, that doesn't think he's going to drop, is there. So Broncos.
So you thought.
Broncos, Tampa Bay, all kind of in a very strategic spot at 19 and 20 to get some trade value in for this pick. Well, all of a sudden you see the Buccaneers take Ohio State wide receiver Egbuka. Emeka Egbuka, right? So he goes off the board. You're like, okay, great. Broncos, I was going to be like, I wasn't going to be surprised if they ended up taking or trading back at this point, knowing that there's some interest to get ahead of Pittsburgh. So I was like, okay, let's see what they do here. The pick rolls through. And Jahdae Barron, our boy, coming to stir up the other part of our secondary, Scotty.
He's our boy.
He's my boy.
Well, he's now your boy.
He's my boy.
Now you're.
And it was interesting. There was mixed results, at least because I was here. I was at the bar watching this. There's tons of Broncos fans. It was, forget the Nuggets that were playing that night, which didn't really matter in the end. Broncos jerseys literally wall to wall waiting for this pick. And there was not a lot of hype around the pick, at least at the bar. Some people were cheering. Some people, it was very like, oh, okay. Who's this guy?
That was a pick.
Yeah, that was a pick.
That was a decision.
And with all the talk around tight end, wide receiver, running back for the Broncos' 20th pick, what they could do, which, by the way, Omari and Hampton was still on the board. That was a lot of mock drafts. Having him drop to the Broncos was kind of a surprise. So that ended up happening. So I think a lot of people wanted a running back there. I'm glad we didn't take a running back there, but I love the value we got with Jahdae Barron, knowing that behind the Travis Hunter, which is corner / wide receiver, top corner in the league, or in the draft, I should say. I mean, Jahdae Barron was the next best on that list. So you're getting a guy that can shore up the secondary with all the other additions from, the defensive side of the football, with the additions from San Francisco. You had just the defense is just going to be that much better. So I like the pick. I understand going with that pick. But that being said, I was like, all right, that pick's done. Feel good about it. Let's see what the Steelers do here. And Rec, to your point, I saw your highlight of this, and you were calling for Derek Harmon. You were like,
Scotty's boy from Oregon.
You were like, please don't.
I do like Derek Harmon.
And I don't say this too often, Rec, but you nailed it. You were like, I would love Derek Harmon in this spot. However, I would I don't not Shedeur Sanders. Just as long as if they go Derek Harmon, that will be the best pick in this position. Don't screw it up. And the pick came in. The commissioner walked up there and announced Derek Harmon for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you would have thought, I mean, that was a bigger reaction for that pick than there was the Bronco pick, because everyone assumed that Shedeur was going to be going at 21. So it was foreshadowing.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was foreshadowing what we were about to experience for the next 3 or 4 rounds. Scotty.
Yeah.
Shocked.
I mean, I wasn't shocked that he didn't go 21. I mean, 21 was the absolute peak spot he was going up to the draft. And unfortunately, I'm in California where you can't make any bets. Figured out California, all right? But yeah, I knew he wasn't going before 21. And he doesn't feel like a Steelers type, maybe a little bit with Shedeur. So I thought he'd drop more than that. I think Harmon will be a much better pick, obviously, and then Shedeur went 4 rounds later, which is that part is shocking. I did not see anywhere near that kind of fall. I thought maybe he could even still make it into the late first, or certainly be a second rounder of some sort. But then it just kind of kept on going, and like to the point, I'm like, looking at my phone while I'm golfing in the 4th round. I'm like, he didn't get picked in the 4th round.
It was conspiracy like vibes all over it. Like, I mean, it's
which is insane.
Let
me just say that. It's insane. You really think GMs collude and talk to each other? No, their job is to win and win only. Like, their job is to make their team the best it possibly can. And if they really felt, especially at a position like quarterback, which is the most important position on your team, that Shedeur Sanders would be the solution to allow them to win, they're not going to just – it's not racism. It's not, well, he's just arrogant. Like, I mean, that played a role in why he dropped probably. But, like, it's not just those things. It's like there was no colluding. There was no collusion. There was no conspiracy theory. Do I think he fell too far? Yeah, I do. But, I mean, it's just – the reality of the situation where it is. So
the thing that I'm trying to wrap myself around and wrap my head around is Shedeur Sanders was projected to be the second best quarterback in this draft. He was graded as a second best quarterback in this draft, and he was first round pick. Wasn't out of the question. He was in about 3 months ago. They were trying to figure out, is it going to be Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders at the top pick? And obviously that sifted itself out really quick. But you can't tell me that there's not some, like, you have the Browns passing on him multiple times. You have the Saints passing on him multiple times. You have all these guys. Now, when Tyler Show, Jalen Milroe, Dylan Gabriel get taken before Shedeur Sanders. The Browns get Dylan Gabriel before Shedeur Sanders. Like, there's something going on there. Like, there's like the value at that point. This is like when you get in your fantasy football drafts, ladies and gentlemen, where you're just like, there's a guy that's hurt, has an injury, Like I don't know, like
Oh yeah.
there's a guy that you're just like, oh no, I don't want to take him. Hopefully someone else takes him, and I don't have to worry about it. And then they keep falling and falling, and the value's starting to climb. You're like, well, now it's like the 4th round. I might as well think about it. But I just don't. You want someone else to take him. You don't want it to be your pick and your problem to sweat. And here we are. The Cleveland Browns come across their 6th pick,
They
and
trade up.
they come across the 5th round, 6th pick in the 5th round before they end up taking Shador. But you can't tell me that teams don't think that Shador is better than Dylan Gabriel, Jalen Milroe, and Tyler Shuck.
So there are probably a lot of teams that had him higher on their board, but didn't draft either of those guys. Now, watching Shador and Dylan Gabriel as CU and Oregon fan, I have no idea why Dylan Gabriel got picked when he did. Dylan Gabriel has 0 arm strength. Like,
3rd round, 30th in the 3rd round.
He's not a starting NFL caliber quarterback. But my thing is, like, Chris, what's Shador's peak? If everything goes right, what's his peak? Like, is he a top 15 quarterback in the league ever?
Maybe.
I'd be shocked. I'd be surprised. He makes too many mistakes. He takes too many sacks. He runs around too much, and he's not that athletic, frankly. He doesn't have a ton of elite strengths. His arm strength is okay, but not elite. And frankly, if you're drafting him, the longer it goes, you're drafting him to be a backup quarterback, and I think that's why he actually fell to the 5th. If you're drafting him to be a backup quarterback, I don't want him as a backup quarterback.
Well, he's
going to be a headache.
That's the double-edged sword. That's the catch-22. Because I was thinking to myself, you think it's going to be like people are going to be he's going to be quiet sitting on the bench, 1. People aren't going to call for him to be the starter, 2. Like, he needs to go somewhere like a New York Giants where it's like they don't have a future guy on that roster. They don't have but also too, culture comes in. You know how culture is where you have a good player that forget all the character issues. You have a really, really good player that doesn't have any character issues go to bad cultured teams, and it just doesn't work out. But if they were to go to a good team, I feel like that their fortunes might change a little bit, right? Here you have a guy that's a headache with some of the off the field, what entitlement and different things going on there, the cockiness, going to a franchise that hasn't had a great culture in that locker room in Cleveland. As a backup, they're going to be like itching to get him in there. He's like, I'm better than these. I don't know. I just think this feels disastrous. Does it feel disastrous? I don't know.
Also, go take a look at the whole quarterback room there.
How mad does Joe Flacco have to be right now?
Yeah.
He's like, I have to deal with this. I'm too old to deal with this bullshit.
Yeah, he's essentially a babysitter.
Yeah, he's like, ugh, all I want to do is make a little bit more money and ride out the rest of my career. And now I have to be in a QB room with Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, and whoever else.
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I mean, all the players.
And don't forget about Grope at Cleveland.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Real quick, I want to get to the chat. There's a lot of chat going on. Chairman, the people projecting don't have their job on the line for making the wrong pick. Mel Kiper is wrong every year for 25 years and still has a job. First time chatter. Let's go. Hodl Trader. What's going on? Shador can play. The issue wasn't talent. No one wanted the drama and distractions. And that's fair. Like, I mean, it's got a LeVar Ball feel to it, doesn't it? It feels very LeVar Ballish.
A lot of people have been talking about that. Chairman brought it up as well.
Although they still got drafted high.
That's true. Yeah.
The Ball brothers.
True. Yeah. Shador or Gabriel will be trade bait. I mean,
how is Gabriel trade bait?
Yeah, I don't think
you got to have value to be trade bait.
Drafted Gabriel in the 3rd round. There's no trade bait.
By the way, Trader, who's your team and where are you from? I'd like to get to know you a little bit. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's like Tebow and Kaepernick. I mean, look at Tebow. Obviously, he was drafted in the 1st round, but like one of the most successful college quarterbacks in the history of college football. And then people figured out he couldn't throw, but then he became a headache, not because of necessarily anything he was doing, but the circus surrounding him. And the whole Kaepernick thing as well. I don't even like talking about Kaepernick because if he was actually still good, he would have been in the NFL.
I feel
people don't want to talk about the fact. The people don't want to talk about the fact that he just wasn't good. He was getting replaced by
Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah, Blaine Gabbert. Like,
yeah, if you're ever
good at
benched for
football.
Blaine Gabbert, you should just quit.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Flacco has one bad game. Prime family is tweeting on X nonstop. I mean, and that's the thing. I think that there's going to be some chirping along the way. Whenever things aren't going right, there's going to be some chirping one way or another. But yeah,
do the Browns play the Bucks this year? Not that I don't actually think Shiloh Sanders, who was undrafted, but I think signed by the Bucks. I don't think he'll actually make the roster, but if he did and they played each other, I mean, Flacco might throw for 1,000,000 yards that game because Shiloh Sanders is terrible, just terrible.
Totally agree about Kaepernick. My point was, if he wasn't such a distraction, he could have been a backup somewhere.
Yeah,
he could have, but because of the distraction, it wasn't worth it. It's not worth it.
So, yeah, so kind of crazy when it came to Shedeur. By the way, and I'll pull up. I don't know if I want to do that now. We can. Let's do that now. Let's go ahead. So, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things happening from Twitter. I always like to save some of the best moments from the Twitter world, especially around the NFL draft, because there's always some interesting things happening when people are just hanging out, watching, waiting, and seeing what's going to happen in the NFL draft. And there's a couple here. We'll just dive in and we'll kind of go through some of these and get your take. And we'll kind of, some interesting things that took place. Let's go ahead, pause this real quick, and let's get in here and see what's going on in the Twitter world. Now, one of the things at NFL doing genty like this with the camera angle here. Obviously they have these promos trying to get them all situated with the hats. They didn't do it like they had a little Wayne in there. The way they cut his head off, it makes you feel like, damn, how tall is this guy really? They did him dirty. They didn't even have his face on there. Genty's 3 feet tall there. I was cracking
I feel like
up.
the same thing happened with Zay Flowers a few years ago.
I mean, doing him dirty on that one. I was like, okay, all right. Meanwhile, you had, and there's always the one situation that always is viral. Remember the Will Levis, Gia Duddy, the girlfriend? She stole the show.
Oh, I know where you're going.
And then, there's always something weird that happens on the NFL draft. Well, it happened in the first round with the New Orleans Saints when the draft pick for the New Orleans Saints, which, let's see, I believe was...
Kelvin Banks Jr.
Yep, Kelvin Banks Jr. with his girlfriend sitting here, the baby, and he goes over and tries to, get congratulated, and the baby just vomits all over the place on live TV. Maybe because he's going to New Orleans. I don't know. Maybe New Orleans isn't the spot, and the baby was like, "Wait, you got drafted by who?"
No, he just fits in. He fits in with Bourbon Street.
Keep close. I'd vomit too.
Vomiting on the ground. Just vomit on
like. The kid is just, he's like, man, we got to live in New Orleans now. Oh, no. I'm sure both of you as dads had to deal. Oh, yeah, 100%. Except the New Orleans part.
I'm back.
I blocked that out of my mind, but yeah.
All right.
Hey, Evil. Thank you, Evil.
Let's
It's been a
go.
minute. 16 months. By the way, Evil, we do have bits, 25 bits if you want your message read, and we got it all fixed. So there you go. But he says Patrick is worried after that draft because he is a proven fraud. We've missed you, Evil.
I don't think he's worried. I don't think he's worried.
He might be worried about his offensive line killing him again.
No, we got a first round talent. We got the best O-line talent in the draft.
So then everything shifted to good old Shedeur Sanders. And I guess this doesn't help the entitlement, really. But I don't know if you saw his little draft room that he built custom here, Scotty, with all the draft hats and everything. I mean, he had some interesting draft hats in there for sure. I mean, there were some draft hats that probably, I mean, there's a Green Bay draft hat in there, a Chargers draft hat,
Throwing a Chiefs while you're at it.
I mean, he had a lot of draft hats that I don't know if it was maybe he needed to fill the whole thing or not, but interesting choice, along with the entire room that he had with, you know, the setup, kind of playing into some of the things of, yeah, this kid's a little bit into himself a little here. My question is, Scotty, does this, and no one knows the answer to this, does this humble Shedeur at all? Do you think that he's going to come into the NFL and be like, hey, like, I mean, obviously he's going to play the chip on your shoulder game. Obviously, that's what you do in these scenarios. You have that chip on your shoulder. But the team that drafted you passed up on you like 3 times. So it was just like,
including for another quarterback. Like, how awkward of a situation. Like, I feel for Shedeur, if this doesn't humble you, nothing will. And I don't know.
No, I think it'll give him a chip, and he'll. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna humble him at all. I think he just looks at it like everyone was wrong. Everybody's gonna regret. He's gonna take the. You're gonna regret passing on me.
And how often does that?
That doesn't mean it's worked sometimes. It works sometimes.
It really doesn't. Everyone who's ever been like, oh, all these mistakes were taken before me ended up being mistakes.
I don't know it's like Amon-Ra when he was drafted by the Lions. He could spout off every single wide receiver that was taken before him in that draft, like in order, because he like used that as motivation, and obviously it's worked out pretty well for him. So it can be used, but no, I don't think Shedeur is going to be a long-term starting quarterback in this league. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't dislike him. I don't have a problem with him. Some of his swagger's fun and like enjoyable and makes him interesting, but it's a little too much at times.
Yeah, it's definitely. I was thinking to myself, like, it's going to be interesting how he approaches being a professional in the NFL, knowing he's not the big fish in the small pond anymore necessarily from like high school and college where he's always had the lights and the camera on him. Now he's in Cleveland. Now he's in a place where it's like, okay, well, it's...
Has anyone ever unretired their jersey and went back to that school to play?
Has
that ever happened before?
At a certain point, chairman in our Discord was like, he should just go back to school at this point.
I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure he couldn't. But maybe there was no rule. I don't know.
But we'll come back to Shedeur here in a second. Don't worry. But then we got to the Chicago Bears draft room, which I feel like, well, let's take a listen in and see how hyped they were for Mr. Colston to get drafted as their first pick in this draft. Let's go ahead. Let's take a listen. How excited they are.
Hey, Colson.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's Ryan Post from the Bears. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good. Ready to be a Chicago Bear?
Let's go, Coach. Come on, let's go.
Let's go.
I
Awesome,
appreciate
brother.
you.
No one's cheering in the background. No claps.
Gonna be great.
Maybe they're not allowed to. Maybe he said everyone
okay?
shut the hell up so I can hear on the phone. I don't know.
They look bored.
I mean,
Come on,
These
John.
these
Come on now.
conversations are cringe in my opinion anyway, regardless of who or what it is. It's always like, hey, you ready to be on our team? Now it's time to go to work. You ready to work? I'm gonna work so hard, coach. Or
Yes, sir. I
yeah,
can't wait.
thank you,
Can't
thank
wait
you.
to
Like
get there.
it's the same thing every single time, and it's uncomfortable.
It's super.
Coach, I appreciate you so much.
And then it's like silent again.
Go win games.
Match made in heaven. Hey, I'm gonna pass you off to our president here, okay? This is Kevin Warren.
All right.
All right, man.
Hey, Colston, congratulations.
Hey, how you doing? Thank you so much.
Good. Yeah, congratulations. We can't wait till you get here.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Time to win some championships.
Let's go win. Let's go win.
You play for the Bears. There's no
Yeah,
winning
the
championships.
Bears. What are you
Let's go,
talking
baby.
about?
Let's go Bears. Come on, bear down.
That's right. You can't beat it, man. We're ready to go. Okay.
Show some emotion.
Focus on like an NFC North.
Can you at
championship
least
for
get
a change.
excited? I mean, I'm just saying, like, at least get some fire in your gut.
You have fire in your gut?
I bet they don't like doing those calls either.
Chairman, that's the most boring welcome ever. If I was on the other side of that phone and I'm hyped and like I'm getting a negative energy from the other side, I'm like, man, it's supposed to be like it's the first, like I could see this in like the second or third rounds. First round pick, like your dude, that's your guy. That's the guy that's going to get you over the top. Oh my goodness. I was like, oh, here we go. But hey, shout out to the Bears here. Meanwhile, Shador's free fall keeps happening, right? We've talked a lot about it. And then you start seeing things like this, where you get this guy. This is the dude that New Orleans Saints drafted over Shador. Just throwing balls off.
Darts.
Like, this is where I was like, dude, if I'm Shador, I'm pissed. Like, I mean, I'm not like advocating for him necessarily, but the value you got, like I said, is amazing. But when you see this and you're like, at least Shador can like hit some accurate balls downfield, you're just like, okay, something's happening here. Something strange is happening here. But that's not.
I don't get the Tyler shock. I'm fine with people wanting to pass on Shador. Some of the other choices, I'm like, bleh. He probably at worst should have been the third quarterback to go, if all things considered, just watching tape. But
And then
it's not all that it is.
drama picks up, Scotty, because next we have video of the call.
Oh.
This sucks, by the way.
Yes.
This is crazy.
Hey, is this Shadur? Hey, this is Mickey Loomis here, the GM of the New Orleans Saints. How you doing? This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. We're gonna take you with our next pick right here, man.
Bruh. It's be legendary.
Hey, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, man. Sorry about that.
Oh my God, he's funny.
Dude. Wild.
Did you see?
So-
did you see who it turned out to be?
Yeah. So this ended up being the son of Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich, whatever.
You actually said it right the first time.
Who admitted to the prank call to Shador Sanders during the NFL draft, has since, because this leaked out and got out, and then has since apologized in an Instagram post, basically saying, quote, "I'm so sorry I took away from your moment. It was selfish and childish. I could never imagine getting ready to celebrate the greatest moment of your life, and I made a terrible mistake. Messed with him in that moment. Thank you for accepting my call earlier. I hope you can find in your heart to forgive me." I mean, it was shitty. Like, taking it, like, Shador, I mean, it's hilarious, but it feels so shitty, too. It's just like, you want this kid to get his ass kicked, but it's like, people were wondering, how did he get the phone number in the first place? Well, it looks like he went into his dad's iPad, I guess, when it was unlocked and ended up finding some information for Shador. Took that, chill with his buddies, and made the call, which we all saw the highlights or lowlights, if you want to say that, during the NFL draft aftermath. Scotty, your thoughts?
Yeah, it was shitty. It was a shitty thing and a stupid thing to do, and it was. I don't even know if it was that funny. Like, I don't know. It's a pretty lame thing to do. Do I think some people have taken too far and been like, oh, what a... I mean, they're making it out to be an atrocity and one of the worst and most disgusting things they've ever seen. And I'm like, let's chill. It was a prank call. Was it dumb? Yes. Is that young kid an idiot for doing it? Yes. But, like, let's not act like...
It's not the first one we've ever had. The prank calls have happened on draft day a couple times in the past.
It wasn't even the first one that drafted by that kid.
Yeah.
Oh, he did some others?
He got Tyler Warren.
That I didn't know.
He got Tyler Warren, too? Wow.
Yeah. Prank called him saying that he was the GM of the Jets.
Chairman says, dick move. Maybe it's because of my job, but you don't see 504 area code. I would put 2 and 2 together and realize it was a prank call. This was awful. Well, he was where was he? He was in...
Well,
I forget where
I don't know, but I don't know area codes. Like, I don't have area codes memorized, so I probably would have answered. That phone was only for the draft.
Shador should publicly forgive him. It would be the first step to showing the world he's not the guy being painted out to be. I don't find it funny at all, even if he's free falling, says STG. Diacola says it wasn't funny. Like, I think it was a shit move, but at the same time, it's like, to your point, I didn't take it as aggressively as some others either. It was kind of just funny at first.
His
But
dad to lose his job over it. I'm like, it's a prank call. And it wasn't by his dad. His dad didn't know. I mean, it's not like my dad or his dad was advocating for him to do this.
Yes.
Now, if I'm his dad, I'm pissed. And that dude is grounded for a long time.
Even though he's 21.
Is he 21? I didn't know how old he was.
Yeah.
He looked more like 18, but everybody that's 21 looks like they're 12 to me now. So.
Okay, boomer.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, basically. And then finally, once we got Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders in the same room, Dylan Gabriel's looking at Shador just like this, saying, you ain't getting in front of me. Dylan Gabriel gets drafted ahead of him, which is another crazy twist to the whole Shador saga.
He looks different.
He looks a little different, yeah. Yeah, he looks a little different here in this photo. Must be from like a couple weeks ago. Must be.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah. So, all right. So now that we have some of like the Hollywood, all the crazy storylines in the books here, as we've talked about generally, let's dive into what we think was the good, the bad, and the crazy of the biggest winners and losers from the 2025 NFL draft. So we could dive in. We could talk about some of the picks we liked. We could talk about some of the different grades that teams have been getting. I've kind of looked around to see what's been going on with other people's grades, ESPN's grades, NFL Network's grades on kind of who stood out. At least on the ESPN grading list, Cleveland Browns received an A+ for their selections. Now, keep in mind that Shador's value at getting him at 144th overall, I don't care what it is, you're getting a good grade for getting a guy that late that shouldn't have gone that far. So, they traded back. They got some assets back. They got Mason Graham. They got a couple running backs, Dylan Sampson, a couple and Quishon Judkins, running backs. They got a couple quarterbacks, a tight end, but overall they got a decent grade. Scotty, do you agree with the Cleveland Browns getting.
Well, let's be clear. I mean, these are Mel Kiper's grades. So whoever was drafted Shador, once it was out of like the first round, was going to get an A+ automatically because Mel Kiper was an angry man at times. It looks like
Mel Kiper was on
what was
one.
happening to Shador. But I mean, it's a good draft. Yeah, you got a lot of pieces, but like, I feel like how many times have the draft grades are a little silly, right? Like this is all projection.
Yeah, totally.
And I feel like there's been so many years because Cleveland's obviously usually got a lot of high draft capital, that they're one of the winners of the draft. And then where does it go? Nowhere. It goes to die in Cleveland. It just goes to die.
Like everything in that city.
Yeah. Broncos.
I won't go that far.
We could talk about my Broncos and how I feel like I grade them out. I mean, again, we're just throwing out grades, right? Like we're projecting a little bit here, but let's have fun with it because that's the people want, right? Who won, who lost. I feel like Broncos, if I were to give them a grade, it would be a solid, I would say a solid B. Nice B. Simple, easy. I love Jahdae Barron at the top. They got RJ Harvey, running back at a UCF, which, you know, I've heard some flashes of him being a nice pick there for a value at number 60 in round 2.
I thought that was a huge reach, but
well, they needed a running back, and I think they liked him more so, even though he wasn't one of the better running backs that were still on the board, according to some mock drafts and some analysts. You know, he fits more of that joker, so to speak, of what I think the coaching staff wants, i.e. Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton likes some of the attributes of being able to be kind of like a guy that can do multiple things. Catch the ball, he can run, he can do a little bit of everything. So, I don't know. From what I've read up and since the draft, I feel like RJ Harvey can be an interesting piece. Do I think he's going to come in and like blow the doors off? Probably not. No Broncos running backs have in recent years, so I'm not holding my breath there. But generally, I do love the fact that they did fill positions of need. They got a couple edge rushers, a wide receiver, a running back, a tight end, and a corner, which I feel like filled a lot of different areas with trying to figure out if these guys are going to stick or not. So, like what they did. I think Jahdae Barron's going to be the biggest impact player at number 20, first round overall. Like I said, out of Texas, he can be the opposite of, and I'm curious too on how they're going to, work Riley Moss, because that was the first question in my head was, all right, what does this do for Riley Moss? But I know Jahdae Barron can kind of line up in the slot too. He can kind of do a little bit of everything. So it'll be interesting how they end up working. But either way, they got better in the secondary, along with some of the other off-season acquisitions from the 49ers and via some free agency. So I don't hate it.
Okay. I thought it didn't make me be like, oh man, as a Chiefs fan, like, oh, the Broncos just killed this draft and that sucks. Who knows though? Right? I thought it was I thought the corner position, while he might be a really good player, was an interesting spot that didn't feel like a huge position. That clearly must have just been best player available, because I don't know if
it was
Riley Moss and.
But when Riley Moss was hurt,
huge.
Like when he was hurt in the playoffs last season, they were torching the other guy, right? Like on the opposite side of PS2, like the other guy that was there just wasn't holding water, and I think that was stuck in their heads from the last couple games of the season.
Yeah, that's fine. Now, did the Chiefs have a way better draft than the Broncos? Absolutely.
Of course they did. Let's go ahead.
It's not even close.
Guys, and we'll talk about, how about this? Let's talk about your teams too. Whatever teams you want to kind of take a look at their overall picks, throw it in the chat, and we can get to those as well. Because, I mean, we're kind of looking at from an overall standpoint, but we can evaluate team by team as needed and have fun just breaking them down. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what the Kansas City Chiefs did with their picks. So Kansas City ends up taking first round, 32. Last overall in the first round. Josh Simmons, offensive tackle out of Ohio State, Scotty, which needed some help. Needed some help there.
I mean, we did need O-tackle help, obviously. And I've said before, I'm hesitant to take a tackle at the end of the first round because all the elite ones are typically scooped up before. This guy was probably seen as offensive tackle 1 and maybe probably O-lineman 1 in this draft class prior to him getting injured this past year. So he missed most of the season with a pretty bad injury, but the medicals clearly the Chiefs are comfortable with. I hear there's some character stuff there too that needs to maybe be dealt with. And
he fits. He fits right in then.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. All right, listen. Just don't get in trouble with the law. All right, that's all I care about. Otherwise, do whatever you want. But from an upside vantage point, I love this pick. We could have our franchise left tackle for we've had a different left tackle every year for the last 4 years, and it's kind of exhausting. So if we can finally hit on one and he's legit in protecting Mahomes, I'm all about it. Got a Tennessee dude at the end of the second.
Omar Norman Lott.
Probably my least favorite. That's probably my least favorite pick of all the Chiefs picks.
Is it because Rex?
I haven't watched a ton of it.
Is it because Rex is a Tennessee fan?
No, but that dude didn't even play a high percentage of snaps at Tennessee. He wasn't on the field all the time. And so sometimes I felt like when he was on the field, he might have been winning just because he was fresh and the offensive line was tired or something. But we'll see. Got a good defensive end, third round, and a corner. And Veach is the best GM in all of football at getting mid-round, third through fifth round corners and making them he's so elite at that. So Noel Williams, I think he led the country in interceptions this past year. Out of Cal, I love Jalen Royals, wide receiver. I'm looking at a draft guide that I trust pretty thoroughly that had Jalen Royals as the number 6 wide receiver in this class, and we got him in the 4th round. So stacked up there. Got an athletic linebacker and Jeffrey Bassa from my Ducks, and then we had a upside 7th round running back who was actually on that same draft thing higher rated than the one the Broncos got in the 2nd round. So, no big deal.
No big deal. We won't worry about that. But
Evo wants to talk about the Vikings.
Let's talk about Vikings. Let's see what the Vikings did.
Donovan Jackson in the 1st round.
Donovan Jackson, offensive guard, Ohio State, at 24th overall in the NFL draft.
They did need offensive line. That was their big thing.
Yep. Obviously, trying to take a little bit of pressure so that there's more time to throw to Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and company. So that'll, definitely help. We think it should, right? Also got a wide receiver in the 2nd round, or the 3rd round, I should say, at 101st overall. Wide receiver Ty Felton out of Maryland. Their next 3 picks went defensive line, linebacker, and then they finished out tight end in round 6. Tight end Gavin Bartholomew out of Pittsburgh was their final pick of the draft. But yeah, offensive guard, I think if we're looking at the most impact players here, obviously it's the first pick of Donovan Jackson, probably.
Yeah, and they didn't have a ton of Vikings didn't have a ton of draft capital as it is. No 2nd rounder. Donovan Jackson's fine. Taking a guard later in the 1st round, I'm fine with. If you think he can hold down that position. And guards typically are very projectable. The swing and miss rate on an offensive guard in the draft is much lower than maybe any other position out there. It's a very safe, very reliable pick in general. So if they liked him to shore up that offensive line, that's fine. Ty Felton, very athletic. Had a great 2024. So we'll see. And I don't know, to be honest, a lot about these other guys. But yeah, so I'm catching up, guys. I was
Yeah. Well, and
I was
also
busy
too,
all weekend.
I know you were busy. We're getting you up to speed here. Also, too, Sam Howell traded. Vikings traded Sam Howell and a 5th-round pick from
That's
Seattle.
what they got.
Or yeah.
They did not trade him.
That's what I meant.
Trade a guy you don't have.
They traded
Yeah.
for Sam Howell. Sorry, is what I meant to say, and a 5th-round pick from Seattle. So Sam Howell comes into the quarterback room and throws a little bit of a backup to the Vikings. Who,
JJ.
he's a backup, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, Vikings now based off of what they did this past year. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. We'll preview obviously all of these divisions and what we expect here soon. But yeah, it'll be exciting to see some of these evaluations and as they get into training camps and things along those lines. Rec, let's talk about your boys.
All right.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
It was a very Steelers draft.
Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of people thinking again. You called it. People thought it was going to be Shador here. You wanted Derek Harmon, and sure enough, they heard you and they drafted Derek Harmon, defensive tackle out of Oregon, at number 21 in the first round. Follow that up by adding a running back, Caleb Johnson out of Iowa, edge Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State, and then as it got further down into the draft, Yaya Black, defensive tackle, Will Howard, quarterback of Ohio State, and a linebacker and a corner. So a lot of defense here across the board. Generally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their picks were defensive side of the football.
Well, they're already loaded on the offensive side, so
yeah. Makes sense. It makes sense. Steelers draft was special, says Evil. Rec, do you think it's special?
Like, it wasn't like anything like insane, but like I do think it was an overall good draft. I did think we needed 2 defensive linemen. We did get that, Harmon, of course, and then Wyatt Black. The one thing I heard that he might just be like the like a guy they used for like the Ravens, just big guy to plug up the middle. Other games, not so much. Caleb Johnson, that's like the direct 1-to-1 Najee replacement. Big physical guy while Jalen Warren bounces outside. Sawyer was pretty much I don't know why this guy fell, so we have to draft him. Yeah, we didn't really need.
He's a very Steelers pick.
Yeah, I don't know if like we didn't exactly need edge rusher. We had 3 really good ones, but I guess like if you get a steal like that, just go ahead and take it. Yeah, Will Howard, we needed a quarterback. Even if it was just a backup, we needed a quarterback just so we didn't completely turn over the roster for a 3rd year in a row. And the last 2 guys were more special teams picks than defense. With Bruner also being a little bit of a Nepo pick for Steelers scout Mark Bruner.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
I'm just shocked that we didn't get Tomlin's son. That's what I'm most surprised about.
Where did he get drafted?
No, he didn't go drafted. That's what I'm surprised. I'm surprised we haven't even signed him as a UDFA.
This ain't no Bronny James situation. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
What are we talking
I'm not saying
about?
he's good. I'm not saying his son's good at all. I'm just saying the Steelers do love their Nepo babies.
By the way, I forgot this comment Joe threw out there. He's like, going back to the prank call for Shador. If you're going to prank call someone, at least ask for enormous stits. Enormous stits. Yeah. See?
Yep. Okay. Wonderful. I'm code yellow real quick. Okay.
Code yellow for Scotty. Ask for Hugh Jazz, It probably wouldn't have had the same effect, though. Probably wouldn't have had the same effect. This is Mickey Loomis. I'm looking for Norma Stitz.
Yeah.
I don't think Mickey Loomis is doing that. Anyways.
I've got a quick trivia thing for you.
You want to wait for Sky to get back and we can both hit it?
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I'll just give you a little
preview.
Little head start.
What do you got?
The Buccaneers made some history in the opposite directions. How do they do that?
Tampa Bay made history in opposite directions?
Yeah. Yeah, like they were on both ends of the spectrum, both extremes.
Well, I first of all, I have no idea. Let me take a look at their picks real quick and see if it I can decipher from their picks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, number 1 first round pick, number 19 overall, Emeka Egbuka, Ohio State. And let's see. Tez John. I'm trying to think of like their first and last pick because you said the opposite ends of the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
Does it have to do with their first wide receiver and their last wide receiver?
It does not have to do with the first and the last.
Trying to think what else. They got a couple
Actually,
corners.
I do want to see because I gotta see one of the guys might have been in the undrafted free agent. I have to check for sure.
They got 2 wide receivers, 2 edge, and 2 corners, at least listed as their draft picks.
Yeah, I'm checking to make sure.
Tom Grossi got to do a pick. I mean, it's about time. If he hasn't done one now, like I don't know why he hasn't.
Yeah.
Like he's only
Okay,
like
so I just checked. One of their guys was an undrafted free agent.
that's on their draft list.
Yeah. They signed. So it's one guy they drafted and one guy they signed as a UDFA. Actually,
But does that have anything to do with the? Does that have anything to do with the trivia?
Yes. So Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
So the Buccaneers made history on the draft on complete opposite ends. Like they were on both ends of the spectrum.
Okay.
What was it that they did? I'll go and say it was all on day 3, so you don't have to worry about the day 1 or day 2 picks.
I gotta look up their picks. But
Well,
it was opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, that they made history in.
I was trying to look and I couldn't piece it together. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. I'm clearly smarter than you, Chris. So give me a second. Although my computer doesn't feel very smart.
Well, we'll just wait for you to obviously get the correct answer.
Yeah, to figure out exactly what it is.
You said it's a day 3 thing.
A day 3. So a day 3 pick and a UDFA that they signed.
Oh, a UDF. Now I got to look at their UDFAs.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Scavenger hunt over here.
The thing is, the fact that he has to look it up.
I mean, I know.
Probably
I
not
only
gonna
know.
Get it.
Well, I already know one of their UDFAs. Does it involve him?
Probably.
Okay. Shiloh. I mean Shiloh.
Nope, not Shiloh.
Oh well, that's the only.
Shannon, could you make the question a little more vague? I don't know how to say it.
It is a vague question.
I don't know how to make it not so obvious.
I don't know. I don't even know where to go.
We all
Buccaneers.
We know how much work Scotty puts into the production of this show.
Give me like 2 more minutes.
2 more minutes? Okay.
And phrase the question one more time.
The Buccaneers made history on day 3 of the draft in opposite spectrums. Like they were on both extremes.
Okay.
I'm going to say one of these players became somewhat viral during the draft process. It was not that, Chairman. The oldest player was Tyler Shuck, who went to the Saints. Who's 25, about to be 26, actually.
Good old Kenny Pickett right there.
Old Kenny.
Oh, Kenny was like 23.
I know. He went viral leading up to the draft.
Yeah.
Was that the undrafted free agent or was that the?
Yes, it was the undrafted free agent that went somewhat viral. They're both involved in the most big trivia question in history. McNuggets, you are correct.
McNuggets, lightest and heaviest.
Oh no, I did see that, and oh my gosh, I saw that, and then I just looked at Tez Johnson, and I didn't put it together.
Yes.
I actually saw that. I should have got that.
They now have the lightest player in the NFL and the heaviest player in NFL history. Tez Johnson.
Desmond Watson.
Yep.
Tez Johnson lightest. Desmond Watson. Yeah, Tez is what, like
150 pounds, and then Desmond Watson at a solid 464 pounds.
That's wild.
Damn. He's apparently, I'm looking, and he's apparently the anti-tush push. Just put him in when someone's trying to tush push. Don't let him move that line.
Or even better, offensively, use him as the tush push.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Lightest and heaviest. See, we're making history one way or another in the NFL draft,
Or in this case, both ways.
or both ways.
I'm mad I didn't get that because I actually saw that today. But, I forget a lot of things.
Yeah. That's what happens when you're old.
Yep.
I mean, he's 40. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
Soon enough.
Soon enough.
I
Only in
feel
a few months.
My body after this weekend feels like it's 70.
It's the drinking weekends take a lot out of you after a certain point, right? You can't drink like you used to, and then when you do, it's like it doesn't feel good the next day. Then you do the hair of the dog thing, and then you just keep rolling it, knowing it's gonna hit you, and you're gonna have to pay for it at some point.
Just never gonna catch me.
It's like with athletes. It's like, just let me do this or deal with the pain later.
Basically, alcoholism.
I gave my back roller when I saw it when I got home a big hug. I was so excited to see him. I was so excited to see him. And I was like, "Oof, you and I are gonna spend some time together.
Let's hang out. Let's enjoy."
And then I went and hugged my kids after that. But
priorities. You got priorities. All right. Well, there you go, guys. Anybody else in the chat? If you want us to talk about your team's draft, go ahead, put it in the chat now, because there's
one other little thing I want to bring up.
What do you
The
got?
Atlanta Falcons getting completely fleeced to get back into the first round.
The
Giving up their second that year and the future first, along with some other pick swaps.
Did they take your Tennessee boy?
They did take my Tennessee boy, James Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't even hate the pick. The pick makes total sense, but to give up a first to get into 26, no.
Well, the Falcons think they're picking 32 next year, so.
I was totally thinking they were going to take a quarterback because their current one is so old. Why not? I posted that, I think, on Discord. I was like, Falcons absolutely need to go quarterback and get younger at the position.
It's my quarterback.
They need to get younger and draft Tyler Shuck.
Basically.
Smart.
But yeah, so otherwise, yeah, we've had some favorite draft moments. Obviously, draft moments are always important, right? They're always part of everything that we end up seeing, whether it's George Pickens getting drafted with the craziest situation. You had, guys, I want in the chat, what's your most memorable draft moment? Because there's some great ones. You had CeeDee Lamb grabbing the phone away from his girlfriend. You had the Laramie Tunsil gas mask video, which was absolutely incredible. The bong video. He actually had a decent career after that. It wasn't you'd think that would just destroy your career. He was okay. Laramie Tunsil?
He's better than okay. He's much better than okay. He's one of the best tackles of the game. He's not dead, Chris. He's still.
Is he still alive? Okay, I didn't know.
He's not 40. He's not 40 years old.
I guess not.
He just got traded to the Commanders.
Then you have
in a hall.
Then you have Russell Wilson's girlfriend. Remember Russell Wilson's girlfriend? The one that like had the widest mouth, and she thought she was
crazy.
She was
she was a psycho.
she was
and then
cashing in. Yeah. She thought she would hit the jackpot with.
She was cashing in. Did
she
you see? I saw a clip of Shamar Stewart, who was drafted first round edge for Cincinnati. He's getting interviewed by somebody, and the lady's basically like, "Oh, now you're headed to the AFC North. Life's going to be much harder on Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson now." And I was like, Shamar didn't correct her, but I'm like, I don't think he's going to be rushing his own quarterback. I'm not sure.
He is in practice.
I mean, wait a minute. Hold on.
Make sure he's got that red jersey on, or yellow, or whatever color you wear.
Joe Quills, that's probably the correct answer. David Akers just laying it on Cowboys fans when the draft was in Dallas.
Announces the Eagles took that Dallas got who the Cowboys were targeting. Yeah. There. I mean, there's always insane moments. There was the one. What was another? There was another one that came. It was the Vikings front office. I think this was when they drafted. What was it? Justin Jefferson. But Jalen Reagor came off before by the Eagles, and like
and
they were like cracking up, laughing, like, what just happened?
Like they just gifted us the best wide receiver on a silver platter.
Joe Quills, Pat McAfee trolling. I like the Pat McAfee troll. Now Pat McAfee's just getting blown up for smoking weed all the time. He's like the sports world version of Snoop Dogg at this point.
Dude, that guy that was like outing him was like, Pat was like, dude, I didn't say any of those things. What are you talking about?
But then
Did
Pat,
you hear that? It was like the wrestling guy.
It was Paul Heyman calling him out. But then there was footage of him trying to offer who is it? Mike McCarthy, a hit of the pen on live TV, or like he was just like someone recorded it, posted it, and I think Mike.
Is he not allowed to smoke?
Mike McCarthy. I think he.
Well, not Mike McCarthy. I meant Pat McAfee.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
McAfee.
I mean,
it's on TV. Who cares?
I mean, dude, McAfee's probably high every single time he's doing a gig, and that includes his own show.
Yeah. Like part of his deal with ESPN was that you can't tell us what to do.
Yeah, I mean, he does what he wants. Mike McCarthy thought it was Ozempic.
You got to be careful with doing whatever you want. That's what Shannon did. Okay? You gotta chill.
I don't know. Yeah, don't.
And
Shannon needs to stop messing around with young ladies, man. He needs to start just like settling down. You need to settle down, Shannon.
Old enough to be a grandpa, man. Come on. Get it together. Get it together.
Yeah.
Of course, going back to the draft stuff, there was 2020, like Belichick's dog took over.
Belichick. Yeah. Oh, I do remember that. I do.
COVID draft.
Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see any of the Belichick interview?
Oh, the Belichick. It was weird.
So
she's got him by the plums.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
He's not gonna answer that.
Man, like
I think the question was like, how did you guys originally meet?
Yeah,
She's like,
it's like this. It's a simple question. It's a simple question.
I think it's pretty clear why we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Black Market, have you guys spoken about the Timberwolves up 3-1 on the Lakers, or only football? Just football so far.
We haven't got into basketball.
We're going to get there next, so don't go anywhere. We'll talk about NHL and NBA. Sugar Daddy's.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if you remember, also from the COVID draft, like they were showing Mike Vrabel, and like there was like two. It wasn't even mannequins, just two dudes standing still behind him for no particular reason.
I kind of vaguely remember that, but not as much as some of these others. I mean,
I'm not a hooker anymore. Let it go.
One that I forgot. There was like a thread of like the craziest moments. I didn't realize until it took me a while. I forgot about this one, but Jalen Waddle. You remember what happened when he got drafted? And he was sitting in a green room with his entire family. He gets drafted, and everyone surrounds him, and he books it away from all of his family and goes to hug one of his boys across the hall. Like he's like he
I don't remember that.
Let me see if I can pull it up here. You'll enjoy this, but like it was it was aggressive the way he was just like,
screw all of you.
yeah, here it is. Right here. So he gets drafted. Oh no, that's old
That's George Pickens.
that's George
right there,
Pickett,
man.
but that's also another
The
one.
freak that he is. What the hell is I was about to actually just bringing up George Pickens in that.
Yeah. Well, that's
Here-
what Chris said
That's
first.
That's one weird
George Pickens is a weird dude. Let's try
Also,
this.
that was another thing I wanted to bring up with Shador. Like we all know Mike Tomlin is okay with like character concerns. If he doesn't like Shador, you got problems.
So here you go. Here's the. He gets drafted and literally just books it away from everybody he's surrounded with. And he's just like, deuces, I'm out. I'm not hugging a single one of y'all. I'm out.
showing off that speed that he was drafted for. You know?
Yeah.
So that was another one that I forgot about that I was like, oh yeah, that did happen. Then you had the speaking of prank calls, Baker Mayfield's friend pranked him on draft night as well, trying to call it. But that was his own crew though. That was in the room, so that was kind of different. And then one of the most classic ones ever. Scotty, I know you remember this one. Because this was, 2 years ago? Remember the time when old Lucas Van Ness's father gave a little
extra love.
Little extra love here to girlfriend. Give a nice hug. Look at how cute.
Nice little
and then a little pat.
Good game. Good game.
Cole Kmet's sister. I like that part as well.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I mean, what like the NFL draft is just filled with so many iconic moments, and you can't. I mean, I'm only showing some of these.
Chairman Brock when Ditka was going golfing after '98.
Well, yeah. I mean, he didn't have anything else to do.
Get Ricky Williams. Speaking
Traded everything for Ricky.
Ricky Williams.
How did he turn out?
Ricky didn't have a bag.
Rick, he was.
Yeah, it just wasn't worth it.
No.
And then obviously
quotes,
this gem here. She was crazy. She was crazy.
What is that? Russ. How was? Oh man.
It like
at least he's smartened up.
Where is she right now? Where is her? Where has she done anything important? Like I feel like she's got a cult
working at
thing.
She's a waitress at Denny's, Chris.
I can see that.
Fairly confident in that.
Oh my goodness.
Roger.
No wonder why her ass got divorced. Crazy. Well, throw your favorite moments in the chat. Obviously, we're going to be reevaluating these picks as time goes on. Deco, his head fits in her mouth. Like, yeah.
True.
I mean, it's crazy. She was hyped.
She's a sandwich artist at Subway.
It,
probably in more ways than one.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Yeah. So there you go. Shout out to all of those making it dangerous. Yeah.
It's spicy.
It's definitely spicy. So, guys, we're going to evaluate these, especially as we get into training camp. We're going to see a lot of the updates of where these players are trending up, down, or about the same or not noteworthy, whatever it may be. But this will be a lot of fun as we get a little bit further. We know which players are going to be the impact players from this draft, or we think we do, and we're going to translate those when we get into a little bit closer of the season. We already have. Did they already announce the Hall of Fame game, right? I think they already announced that.
They did.
Which I forget who's in there. It's
I don't
recall.
Okay, let me check real quick.
I think it's
That's the worst game.
It's
of
the
season.
Lions and the Chargers.
Lions Chargers. So
Thursday, July 31st.
Those teams don't even want to be there. Wait, the Chargers? Don't you have to have guys going into the Hall of Fame to play the Hall of Fame game?
I think that's a prereq, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, the funny thing is, like, if you're a coach, the worst possible thing you could do is play anybody that you expect to compete for the season in that game.
They don't. It's the worst football game of the year.
Yeah, partially because, like, the field is worse than MetLife. Like, what better way to honor the NFL than play on a field that takes ACLs, that like I take hot dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild, but it is what it is. So, anyways, yeah, we'll get into a lot of this stuff here again very, very soon. Trying to think of what. Oh, by the way, Mr. Irrelevant. We always have to cover who Mr. Irrelevant is, right? Which every single year in the NFL, there's a Mr. Irrelevant, and this year it was Memphis cornerback Colby Minor. Colby
Let's
Minor.
go, Memphis represent.
There you go. There you go. There's Mr. Irrelevant making an impact.
Gonna make a minor impact, probably, Chris.
Hey.
That's all I got.
And
That's the best I had.
He's here all
It's
week.
the best I had in the moment.
He's here all week. We hope.
No,
Put on the spot. I didn't.
Wife keeps him away.
Guess who's out of town on Wednesday?
Oh, another one.
Another one.
Another one.
Okay, so we're gonna have a record show on Wednesday. Got it.
Chairman, are you sure Mr. Irrelevant? Are you sure Mr. Irrelevant wasn't Shador? Oof.
It's my quarterback.
Crazy. All right. Well, there you go. That's what we got here. Let's go ahead and switch gears to NBA and NFL or NHL playoff updates and where we are currently sitting. So let's go ahead, switch gears. By the way, thank you for being here. Thank you for enjoying the show, top to bottom. This is a lot of fun being here with you guys. Hit that follow button if you're new for the channel. We are always going live each and every single week. Wednesdays and Sundays. We're throwing in Thursdays. We did actually a fun Thursday stream. I think you were gone, Scotty. You weren't there. Or no, was it Wednesday?
Well, if it was a Thursday stream, I was gone.
What was the night we were doing? That was a Thursday night stream, Rec, where we were watching like all sorts of like movie trailers, and that was a Thursday night. Yeah. Did a lot of fun. Maybe we could do some more of that. Maybe that could be a community night style where, yeah, we're just talking about literally anything, but we're always bringing you either sports or entertainment or both. So make sure you guys hit that follow button each and every single time. We are always live on Discord, and we are always sharing updates and breaking news and recipes and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah, go ahead. Let me throw the Discord in the chat and the socials.
Yep. Chris, is that a Taco Bell hat?
This is a Taco Bell hat, baby.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm getting my new Baja Blast, son. You know what's crazy? I was looking at the standings a couple days ago. I posted in our Discord, and I was literally looking at the standings in shock. Like, the top of the league, the Mets. The bottom of the league, the Rockies. I was like, as a fan, I couldn't be more polar opposites, literally. That,
Like the Buccaneers.
yeah, I guess. The heaviest and the lightest, you know? Yeah.
4-23. It's
bad.
rough out here.
It's bad.
Rough out here.
We celebrated 420 in style, though. Hey.
Yeah, except the Rockies celebrate 420 in style.
We
Paying homage to their state by going 420.
I need some sort of weed
Their
drop, by the
run
way.
differential is almost twice as bad as anybody else in the league.
It's crazy.
Almost. There's only one team that it's not. It's barely Baltimore's minus 39, and the Rockies are minus 69. So
nice.
Things are going well.
Do you think I should?
But minus 69. It was 69 though. Hey yo.
Hey.
Yeah.
Spicy.
Chairman. Oh yeah, and I watched Book of Eli. Good recommendation. Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it. I threw that out there for we were talking post-apocalyptic movies, and
that would be one.
That was a good one. Yeah, it wasn't. A lot of zombie movies were on the table, but I mean that was more of a.
You're talking about how you hate the fast ones.
Oh, the fast zombies. If you're getting into zombies, fast zombies. I mean, you got the slow ones like Walking Dead, and you got the fast ones like 28 Days Later, and you're just like, you always hope you're going to get the slow zombies, you know?
Are they making like a 28
years later? Yep,
like that?
yep. We actually watched that trailer.
Isn't that coming out?
We watched that trailer on our stream on Thursday. So, Yeah, it's coming. And you know what? I could watch zombie movies. I could watch them because they're kind of not realistic, but like, hey, you got kids eating bats in Africa. You got Chinese labs getting leaked with all sorts of. You never know, Scotty.
With bats.
With bats. It all comes back to bats.
Don't watch Batman.
Don't.
Yeah, and we got the torpedo bats.
We got
That's how Batman was started, right? Wasn't he bit by a radioactive bat?
No, I think that's Spider-Man bit by a radioactive spider. But you know, it was.
I'm joking, guys. I'm not that clueless.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I'm sure.
So, anyways, all right. Let's. I digress. But either way, I'm telling you guys, we have a lot of fun talking about all sorts of things on this show, including some fun things like movie trailers and food and stuff. So hit that follow button. All right. Let's get into NBA and NHL. Let's start with the NBA, obviously. NBA is going on. Scotty, we are in the midst of a 2-2 tied series after the crazy game that took place yesterday between the Denver Nuggets. By the way, this has been the best series by far of any series so far, and there's been one blowout. But overall, Denver and LA Clippers series has been by far the most entertaining of all of them, even with the blowout in Game 3. So let's look at the playoff bracket. Take a look. We already had some action going on tonight. Indiana, Milwaukee, still going at it right now. Indiana with a 115-98 lead.
It's over.
It's over. The New York Knicks, chairman, ended up getting the dub with kind of a crazy ending there, with the Knicks winning 94-93.
Did it help, chairman, when they came out after the game, the officials, and said it should have been a foul? Did that make you feel better? No, that doesn't make anybody ever feel better.
It never makes you feel better.
Yeah, you messed up, so do something about it.
It's like, it's crazy to me, and those are the kind of games between the Knicks and the Pistons that end like that drive me freaking crazy, that I can't sleep the next day, where I'm just like, seriously? Like, if I'm a fan of that team, if I'm chairman, I'm telling you, I'm not happy. Because then you switch this up a little bit.
Gets very interesting.
Very interesting. So, I mean, that's a series swinging situation right there on that last play. So the Knicks lead the series now 3-1 after this controversial ending to this game. Meanwhile, Minnesota wins 116-113. Reeves clanked a 3-point shot at the end to tie it of regulation. So Minnesota ends up getting a win, and everyone who was on the Lakers to win and go to the Western Conference Finals, and you're seeing what this really is now. Okay, Minnesota just proving everyone wrong. I thought this was going to be a closer series than everyone thought. I thought Minnesota had a chance to win. I picked the Lakers, but I'm not shocked at what I'm seeing out of Minnesota. They're up 3-1, and they are in the driver's seat. But going back to LA in this one. So that series is interesting because I'm curious on what ends up happening with Minnesota they're going to win this series probably. So pretty
agreed. Yeah, they're up 3-1.
You're getting playoff Anthony Edwards.
Now we're all gonna just hear, will LeBron come back from 3-1 down before? And I'm like, shut your mouth.
It's
LeBron, not. LeBron had how many points in the fourth quarter of that game today? How many?
Well, 0.
Yeah, let me ask you, how many points did you have in the fourth quarter of that game?
I attempted a couple shots, but
right.
Didn't quite get any.
Goose. I believe I'm pretty confident he did not score in the fourth quarter. So LeBron chokes away in the big moment again. Anyone comparing him to Jordan? He's playing Jordan Light right now and getting worked by Ant.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards is having Anthony Edwards playoff like he typically has. 43 points, 12 of 23 from the field, Anthony Edwards, I mean, he's already in his young career elevated himself to like this playoff superhuman status where he's just he elevates his game in the playoffs, which is something I think you always need to keep an eye on with players in the NBA of like, all right, what do they do in the regular season versus what do they do in the playoffs? Playoffs is when it matters. Do you show up? Anthony Edwards shows up. Let's just say that.
Yeah. No, he's a dog. Like, I hate him kind of. I mean, I respect his game. I think he's a phenomenal player. I kind of hate him because, one, he beats the Nuggets all the time, and two, he's a little immature and talks a little too much. But you got to respect it. The dude plays so hard and is so damn good. So
good. 5 of 10 from
T-Wolves
3.
are tough.
Yeah.
T-Wolves are tough. That's a good roster, even without Cat and now Julius Randle, who I don't know what he's doing these days, but he's out there.
Yeah. He got 25 points. I mean, he was okay in this.
Oh, that was a good day. Yeah, that was a good day.
Yeah.
I didn't turn it on till the 4th, so I could watch LeBron shrivel up.
Yeah, going across the other series, OKC beats the Grizzlies in one of the biggest comebacks in NBA playoff history. And that was last game that they played. So they came back. They win the series 4-0. They're chilling. They're taking their time, enjoying the break because the Nuggets and Clippers are probably going to go. I picked game 7. I said 7. This looks like a 7-game series, but the Nuggets. I'm not going to lie to you, Scotty. I looked at that replay in slow-mo yesterday. In case you missed it, the game was tied. End of the game. Jokic puts up a shot. Air ball. Sombor shuffle from the corner for an air ball that misses on the far end of the hoop where it is caught by Aaron Gordon out of nowhere and dunked home literally as the light goes off and the buzzer sounds. I looked at that replay, Scotty, and I could make an argument either way. It was ruled a basket on the court, and it was one of the most shocking ending to a game I've seen in a while in a playoff series, because you could one angle you could make an argument he was kind of touching. The other angle there was you could tell it was out of his hands. The light was on, and it was maybe you could probably separate the ball and his finger with a hair on your head, Scotty.
I thought the over-the-top look was incredibly close, but also definitive that he did. The ball was out of his hand just barely, but out of his hand when that light went on the backboard. So, I love Yoke's reaction was just he went down and sat down on the bench. He was like,
"I'm ready for overtime." Yeah,
let's focus up. Let's get ready. Let's rest because we're playing OT. And if they go to OT, I don't think they win that game. Chris.
No,
they choked away that fourth quarter.
They were up 20. They were up 20 plus 20 plus earlier
at some point.
Yeah,
and then they were still up 11 with 3-4 minutes to play or something. And forgot how to play basketball. And I didn't even realize, Chris, I was golfing, then drinking, then someone talked me into playing pickleball. So I was checking the score and I was like, oh, we're always comfortably up. So I'm like, we're good. Then I got back to my room just before the end of the game and I looked at my phone. I'm like, what the hell? And I turned it on immediately, just furious that we were even in this situation.
It was.
Nuggets are still idiots for firing Malone. No.
What's up, Jeepers? Welcome in.
I don't know. Yeah, Jeepers Squeevers. I don't know if Malone's a great. I think people were over Malone. I think there was an issue, and it was going to happen regardless. Is the timing bizarre? Yeah, but it was going to happen. It was going to happen regardless. And
who's your?
I don't know that. Malone's not outside of playing when Jokic isn't on the court. His record's pretty shitty, right?
Who's your team and where are you from, Jeepers? Good to have you in.
Jeepers,
Queefers. I mean, oh, good to have you. Good to have you. I'm a Jazz fan. Stockton and Malone. Okay, Jazz. First Jazz fan we've had, which is, we're Nuggets fans. Obviously, we live in Colorado, so Great to have you here, by the way. Jazz. Okay. I mean,
I'm gonna be honest, Jeepers. I used to hate the Jazz with Malone and Stockton. A lot.
Absolutely.
I respected Stockton. Malone was kind of dirty at times, but
Andre Kirilenko, huh?
Kirilenko. Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite player. They were good, but I never wanted to see him beat those Bulls. I'm sorry.
I mean, and I'm a Gonzaga guy, so I always have a special place in my heart for old John Stockton as well. But Jazz, they're trying to work their way back up into the mix, right? Trying to work their way back up. But yeah, Nuggets, by far the best series that's going on right now. I mean, I think
maybe the only one. Well, it's right now the only one tied up, but it may be the only one that's going to be 2-2. We'll see if the Rockets can get a W tomorrow, but it feels like the East series are kind of. I mean, all at 3-1 in the East feels like a wrap.
3-0 for the Cavs. 2-1.
3-0 for the Cavs. Yeah. 3-1 for the others.
It's going to be 3-1 for all the others. So East is just kind of boring. We knew. I think the Pistons was the most interesting one, and they screwed that up by missing that situation at the end of this game. So that kind of sucks. But going back to really quick, the Nuggets Clippers, it's a fascinating shift, right? Because if you're the Clippers, you get this PTSD of the Nuggets have historically owned you over the last handful of seasons, going back to even that season where they came back 3-1 on Doc Rivers. And obviously it was Doc Rivers, so there's that. But
the bubble,
just the this loss, that the way the Clippers lost that game should give Clippers fans that PTSD, that the scaries of like thinking, shit, the end, like we just left this door wide open for the Nuggets going back home for the next game to get a win and then be in the driver's seat if they can take advantage of home court. So home court is back to the Nuggets side. It's going to be interesting. I don't know what Nuggets team we're going to get from week to week, but the Nuggets could easily have won that game too. You know, I mean, if they don't miss the free throws, if they don't have 20 turnovers in that game, if Kawhi doesn't go crazy, the best game of his career in the playoffs, it feels like, then the Nuggets only lost by 3. You figure, okay, like a couple balls go the different direction in that game. Nuggets are up 3-1 at this point. So it's going to...
You could also argue the Nuggets were pretty close to being swept.
You could.
But yeah.
You can make that argument too. It's all perspective.
Their 2 wins have been some tight ones.
It's all perspective. But
and then there's been 1 blowout.
I will say when it comes down to tight games at the end, there's not a team I trust more and not a player I trust more than Nikola Jokic in those types of clutch situations.
You like that alley-oop pass at the end?
It was a pass. It was a pass. It was definitely a pass. But yeah, Rockets Warriors tomorrow. That's going to be on TNT, True TV. Golden State 3.5-point favorites at home as the 7 seed, as the Rockets try to tie that up. So could be another 2-2 series. Otherwise, everything's pretty much done outside of the Rockets, Warriors, Nuggets, Clippers. Everything's basically done. So
yeah, I don't know. It's all the favorites that are up 3-1. So I don't know that any of these teams, well, minus maybe the Lakers. But I don't think they can beat that Minnesota team 3 times in a row. So we'll see. You win one at a time and see what happens. But it feels like a wrap on the rest of these. I still think the Rockets have a decent shot of potentially getting back in this series with a win tomorrow and seeing what happens. That one could go 7, but I don't think whoever wins that series is going to win the next round against likely the Timberwolves. I actually think the Timberwolves are going to go to back-to-back Western Conference Finals and play likely the Thunder, Chris. I'm going to be honest.
Well, if that's the case, yeah, I mean, the Thunder having the rest is what sets them. I mean, they're top 5 offensive and defensive efficiency team. They're a young team. And my biggest thing with them was they attacked the regular season so hard. They're going to need. I don't know if they understand how the grind of the playoffs works to get all the way to an NBA Finals and understand like this is a long physical playoffs. Well, it definitely helps to have a sweep in the first round and your other opponents are going game 7. So that or could be going like really, really far in the series. So just helps the Thunder that much more.
Ja Morant out. Did you see the interview Luka just recently did with you know who Caleb Presley is?
Oh yeah.
No.
He's Barstool Sports. He's like super dry.
Recently left Barstool, but yes, does interviews. So he did one with Luka, and he's like, Luka Doncic. He's like, yeah, and he's like, has anyone ever told you your name kind of sounds like Ja Morant? And he's like, no. And he's like, Don.
Yeah.
He's like,
it's like,
God.
It's so funny, dude. He's one of the best interviewers. He cracks me up, dude. I just like,
oh yeah,
he's so dry, and it's so good.
And then you just got Glenny Balls just chilling there, eating usually ice cream or some
random shit.
It's good stuff.
It's so good. It's so good.
He's no longer with Barstool though, Chris. Just to be clear.
Yeah, he did move on. He's doing his own thing now, right?
He's doing his own thing. He's big enough now, apparently, where it doesn't need Barstool anymore.
Doc wasted some really good teams. That 2013-14 Clippers team should have went so much further, but it was Doc though, right? I don't know why people keep hiring his ass. He just
in this latest case, it's because Giannis is doing his best LeBron impersonation and demanding everything goes his way.
Dame got injured in the first, and it didn't look great, Chris. Lower leg injury, non-contact. I think he's done. So with that, the Bucks are likely done. Jeeper says D-Lillard going to the Bucks ruined his career. I don't know if staying in Portland would have helped his career, but he wasn't winning in Portland either. So.
He would have been happy if he got what he wanted and went to Miami. He would have been a lot happier there. But no, he ended up going to Milwaukee, and yeah, D-Lil is going to be. He's going to be that much old. I don't know if he's got a lot left, man. I'm gonna be real. Like his mindset,
we'll
his
see how significant this injury is.
His body, I mean, all of it. I just don't know how much he's going to have left in the tank. But yeah, it's rough.
Well, and I think the Bucks blow it up this offseason. They get eliminated.
Oh, if
I think they blow it up. I think Giannis is elsewhere.
Giannis is good. Not the leading candidates to take his services resides in the Big Apple in Brooklyn. Brooklyn is the team with the highest odds according to some of the local betting networks.
What assets do they have? Are they just going to send 47 first-round
probably
picks
and a bunch of
That's
dudes?
how basketball works.
I mean, they have an island of misfit toys of a bunch of small forwards and power forwards. They have like 3s and 4s all over their roster. Their roster doesn't really make sense, and they need to do something different too. And honestly, I mean, they were talking about how Giannis has a bunch of businesses out there in New York and Brooklyn, and so that fits as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's a decent sized market, and I told everyone before the season started, I'm like, if the Bucks have a terrible season and get into the playoffs and are one and done again, don't be shocked if you see Giannis pushing them to get his ass out.
And even more so, Chris, like this McDuggett says, was it not reported it was a torn ACL? Nothing official yet. It's not a torn ACL though, it's worse. It's an Achilles rupture.
Achilles, right? That's the only thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And if that's for Dame, he's out next year. Like probably the whole year.
Sad part about being a Jazz fan is no one is ever going to come here outside of being drafted. Well, that's what the Nuggets went through for the longest time.
Similar for the Nuggets.
The Nuggets.
I mean, but we still don't get free agents to really come here.
I mean, Jokic is
with Jokic.
Jokic is definitely helping the cause. But I mean, if you don't have superstars that are willing to stay in small markets, you're just a flyover, and that's what before the Nuggets lucked out and got Jokic and got a top 15 dude of all time to stay in the same market. Like, it wasn't. We were a flyover.
Being in a tiny market.
Oh, he loves. I mean, as opposed to being in like a New York or LA, I'm sure he does. Like he does.
I just need Lori Mark to turn into Joe. Yeah. I that's coming. I'm sure.
Someday.
Lori had a disappointing year after her first year with Utah, where he had best year of his career.
I think
kind of had a down year this year.
I think keep an eye on him moving at some point in the next couple of years. I know they just signed him to a thing, but I think he's going to be trade kind of situations. There might be some trade scenarios with him involved at some point. Don't be surprised on that either. Okay. So, by the way, guys, if you guys are enjoying the content, hit that follow button. Along with everyone else who's here hanging out with us on a Sunday night. We're going to shift over here in a minute to NHL hockey. But if there's any other questions you have on the NBA playoffs, let us know. I think the Nuggets next game is Tuesday, Scotty, if I'm not mistaken. So
that is correct.
Well, that'll be a fun one, and I believe let's take a look at the odds so far for that game in Denver because
Clips are like -1.5.
Ooh, Clips -1.5. Again, I think this is the most live betting series. Just bet the live odds for Nuggets and Clippers because it's just the swings are just so crazy. But yeah, that's wild. So Nuggets at home, 1.5 point underdogs,
which is what they were for game 2, and they lost. So
interesting. Meanwhile, Houston and Golden State, 3.5 point favorites. Golden State at home. Everything else is insignificant. So, there you go. All right, cool. Listen, is anyone more shocked than me that the Blues are harassing the Jets? Hey!
Let's go. Shack shimmy.
Shack shimmy, baby. Let's go. Thank you.
A whole lot closer to the screen.
Yeah.
Jeepers.
Covers both our faces now.
Jeepers Queefers. Welcome into the Action Lab, man. It's good to have you. Great to be here with all of you guys.
We always have like the best names.
Black Market? Between Black Market Breast Milk and Jeepers Queefers, I think there's no other chat that has the best usernames, and I'll put that against anybody. Woo! I need to get that updated. I miss
I
Ric
feel
Flair.
like we had another Queef related username recently.
We might have.
We could have. Yeah.
All the queefs are running together.
It takes a bow. See, there you go, Black Market. I mean, some of the screen names are incredible. All right, let's get to the Stanley Cup playoffs, and this is where we're going to finish our night. So, whereas the NBA has a bunch of 3-1s and 3-0s and sweeps, we kind of have a similar dynamic on one side, but the other is completely different. If you're looking at the Eastern Conference Finals, Eastern Conference first round, I should say, Toronto up 3-1 over Ottawa. Florida up 2-1. Washington up 3-1 over Montreal. Carolina up 3-1. All 3-1s, 2-1s, 3-1s. Meanwhile, you look at the Western Conference side of the playoffs. 2-2 Jets and St. Louis. 2-2 Dallas and Colorado. 2-2 Minnesota, Vegas. And 2-1 Edmonton. So Edmonton's going to win. Put all your money on Edmonton tomorrow, I guess, because
Edmonton's playing right now.
They're playing. They're literally down 3-2 with 5 minutes to go.
So
this is why you don't trust Chris.
Don't listen to Chris's advice, especially on hockey.
You're telling me there's a chance. But Western Conference playoffs for hockey, so competitive, and it's so good. The Colorado Avalanche have been, Scotty, before the last game, do you want to know how many minutes the Dallas Stars led in the series up in after the third game?
Did they lead?
They did.
They led
Wait, don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Like 2 minute 48.
A minute and 26. I believe, is the correct number. And yet, Dallas had a 2-1 series lead, only leading for a minute 26. Figure that out. That just kind of goes to show you about. I mean, Rec and I were watching that game live, the game that went into overtime with Dallas and Colorado. Second game.
More specific.
Yep.
And it just felt like the Avs were in a good control of the game for a majority of it. And then we had a good conversation of like, this is great. It's going to overtime, the home ice advantage, the altitude. It's going to slow down Dallas. They're going to look more tired. This is a good situation. Plus, they
3.5 minute power play to start the overtime.
Exactly. And you're thinking this is the best case scenario for Colorado. Colorado looked like the team that was tired in the overtime. They looked like they were just dead tired, beat, like exhausted. And Dallas just showed up in the overtime and just ended up getting the dub. So it was just a weird game, and it's been a weird series. But yet you look up, Colorado had the big win yesterday, and now it feels like momentum's feeling like it's shifting back. So it's been a weird series, to say the least. At least Colorado-Dallas.
Yeah, I think going in, this was the best first round matchup, and I mean, you can maybe argue Lightning Panthers in the East as well, but best first round matchups, those two for sure. Two of the better Stanley Cup favorites in the playoffs. I think the Avs have been the better team, though. I mean, and saying, the Stars only have been up a minute 26 of time on the ice.
And after game 4, it's
won,
still a minute 26.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's hard to have a lead when you don't score. So, and our boy Landy scored.
Landy coming back.
A goal and an assist.
Yeah. The Capitan is back. I actually feel oddly good about where the Avs are at right now. They lost they won 2 blowouts by 4 goals apiece. The 2 games that went to overtime, they lost, unfortunately. We're a bounce here. You say in overtime, they had an open net in overtime where it grazed off the defenseman's glove right in front of the net and went ricochet to the side. Where, like, if that's another inch to the right, it doesn't touch the glove and it goes in the back of the net. So, like, sometimes those are the bounces and breaks in hockey that you need. But dominating performance last night, absolutely embarrassed the Stars in game 4, boat raced them. I think Colorado ends up winning this series. I really do.
Yeah.
I feel better about the Avs winning their series than I do the Nuggets winning theirs. Not that I don't think both can win, but like, if I had to pick like who I'm more confident in, I'm more confident in the Avs.
Yeah, agreed.
Sure.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think the Avs have the longer road in the playoffs if they get past this first one, and that's just how it is. By the way, Jeepers, the Avalanche can eat corn the wrong way. I mean,
St. Louis Blues fan, but Jeepers, did you see that Jeepers is a Chiefs fan? Let's go.
Yeah, so I was going to read this. I have a weird fandom growing. We love these stories, by the way. My entire life in Arkansas and Kansas City. So I'm a Razorbacks, Royals, Chiefs, Blues. The Jazz became my team because my mom thought Stockton was hot and would play their games. So I followed them. Okay, that's fair. I like that. I like that.
He was rocking them short shorts when it.
I mean, Stockton. He was like, I've heard some dirt. People say Stockton was a dirty player too. Like,
he definitely was. But like, savvy dirty.
Like it was in a good way. Back in the 90s when like people talk shit and like there are dudes that I've heard stories from in the NBA. Like they do these interviews or podcasts. They're like, Stockton, man, he was a dog and he was dirty and he did like. You wouldn't expect it from like a little white dude on the court, but here he is.
Chairman Jeepers seems cool. His mom, however, had questionable judgment. I remember Stockton was like a hairy man. Though.
He was like a little Sasquatch. He was like,
I think he was the inspiration for the movie Teen Wolf. I'm not certain. I can't prove that, but it's possible.
I always loved it. I can't prove it. However, this
Yeah.
is definitely a thing.
I feel pretty strongly that that's where it came from. The idea for Michael J. Fox to become a wolf in a basketball game came from John Stockton.
Totally.
Yeah.
NHL seems familiar or similar to the NBA, more interesting series in the West, and there's by far more
Yep.
competitive in the NHL. For sure, it's only a couple games, but
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
series is. I mean, we're talking about. Speaking of St. Louis, we talked about Winnipeg with the best record. Whether or not they're going to lose in the first round or the next round, they're going to lose one way or another because that's what the curse is. And
the Blues
yeah,
boat raced them.
Yeah.
Tied up at 2. And like Winnipeg, for as good as they've been this regular season, haven't proven anything in really a playoff run yet. So you start getting the nerves, and you're like, we're in Winnipeg. So I hate my life.
Yeah. Also,
I just
real
want to go
quick,
back to Florida.
it's like every Western Conference game or every series has its own little story. With Jets and Blues, you got the goalies from the Four Nations face-off facing against each other, Hellebuck and Bennington, on opposite sides this time though. Of course, Stars, you got Mikko Rantanen Revenge Tour with Matt Duchene. Night Wild, you got Marc-Andre Fleury's last hurrah against his former team, where his own agent made a little graphic about the Knights stabbing him in the back with a sword. And you got Kings Oilers for the 4th year in a row.
yeah, lots of storylines.
And here's the storyline: Canada doing Canada things in the playoffs.
The Canadians down 3-1.
I mean, we might have only one Canadian team make round 2, and it was impossible not to have that because obviously the Maple Leafs and Senators are playing each other. But the other 4 with Winnipeg, Edmonton, Montreal, and whoever loses, the Senators,
the Battle of Ontario,
all could be out, where we only have one Canadian team moving on to round 2.
Yeah, I forgot to do it this year, but one of my favorite things to do when I go to bed, I'll parlay anything with U.S. to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite
it's pretty
things
safe.
to do.
It's pretty safe.
I forgot to do it this year, and it sucks, but it's free money.
They get tariffs and they lose in hockey. It's a whole mixed bag. There was a sign in The Simpsons once said, "Welcome to Winnipeg. We were born here. What's your excuse?" Hey. Feel bad for Canada teams never do well. Was cheering for Edmonton in the finals last year. By the way, you know how my stat, or my not stat, but my vibe of best goalies in the playoffs are going to win, regardless of your seed.
Yeah,
Want to know where
even the
it's
not even like the best goalies that have played the regular season. It's just whichever goalie gets the hottest.
Who's the hottest?
Yeah.
So you want to know
Aiden Hill win the Stanley Cup.
You want to know who is where the Jets came in with the number 1 goalie coming into the playoffs? You want to know where he's at right now, Connor Hellebuck?
12th.
17th in the playoffs.
There's only 16 teams, Chris.
Yeah. You're telling me. Figure that one out. He has a 3.52 goals against average.
Oh, did I jinx it? According to the scoreboard, Edmonton with 28 seconds
What did I
left
tell
in the
you?
third,
What did I tell you?
ties it up with the Kings.
Don't see.
Likely overtime. And now I feel even worse for Canada because now they're just getting teased. Now it's just mean.
Now it's just
give them hope only to just dash them later. Just devastate them.
They had the empty net too.
But
I think the Kings actually went into the third at 3-1 in this one.
Yep,
so
they were,
Oilers...
and it's Evan Bouchard with his 2nd goal of the game and the period.
But Scotty, going back to my hot goalies, sexy, spicy hot goalies.
Spicy.
Yeah. Guess where Mackenzie Blackwood ranks among goalies who have played at least 4 games?
1.
Third. No, second behind Frederick Anderson, because Akira Schmidt only played 1 game, so he's got a shutout, so he's 0. But Frederick Anderson is number 2 with a 1.48. Mackenzie Blackwood 1.660.
But might I say that he should be one because 2 of his goals have come in overtime. How many has Anderson given up in overtime? Probably 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
So
yeah.
I'm saying that's cheating.
So you love your
Cheated, cheated.
curses. You love your curses. Here's another curse that goes against a Canadian team. Edmonton Oilers employing Corey Perry, who his teams keep making it to the Stanley Cup. He's made something stupid like 5 or 6 of the last 7 Stanley Cups and lost them all. So the Oilers could make it all the way to the Cup. They're just going to blow it because they got Perry on the team.
Sucks to suck, but they're also not making it.
Yeah, and also forever and always fuck Corey Perry.
Okay.
Tell us how you really feel.
Who has the top save percentage, Chris? It's Mackenzie Blackwood.
Yeah. I mean, save percentage. Yeah. It's
not including Schmidt.
Yeah.
Played. Yeah.
So Avs have the hottest between. I mean, are we on pace for a Carolina, Colorado? I'm calling it now. Carolina, Colorado.
No. But Freddie Anderson is also known to like do well, but then he just runs out of gas eventually as well.
It's tough to trust the ginger, Chris, because once he lets a couple in, he's just going to lose his mind.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So, so interesting.
I'm still sticking with Capitals Knights rematch of the Knights inaugural season.
Well,
even after the rough game
Knights aren't even
bounce back in Game 4, and we're gonna have a rematch of Avs and Lightning, like we said on this stream.
Yeah, Avs.
You didn't say that. You were gone.
No, I was here.
He was here.
Yeah, how dare you? I was here for that.
That's right. You were gone for like a half hour before that.
Let's just hope Vegas doesn't get past Minnesota. That would be hilarious. That would be incredible. But anyways, so we'll keep tabs on playoffs. Obviously, Edmonton, LA. We got Bongfoot in the chat. Go Kings, go! So you got a little sweat happening right now.
Ottawa Senators versus Colorado Avalanche. I respect the passion for the Senators that you're just holding with. Hold the line.
Yeah, it's not going to work. This is the learning curve here, where you get your shit kicked and you learn how the playoffs really work.
I'm over Vegas having as much success. Yeah, Black Market. We hate Vegas in Colorado.
Yeah. There's only 1 year where they missed the playoffs in their existence.
Does anybody like Vegas?
Vegas? No. I think the 2 teams that we just can't stand are Vegas and I think Vegas and Minnesota. But I would argue Vegas has been more of a rivalry.
Minnesota doesn't really feel like a hateable team. They're just one of those teams that's just there. They don't really do anything. They show up to the playoffs. Move on.
We kind of had a rivalry with them, but that was a few years. That was more than a few years back.
Yeah, it's kind of fizzled out a little bit, just a little bit. I'm over Vegas having as much success as they had for being such a new franchise. Minnesota is perennial first round exit, aren't they? I mean,
yes, they are.
Recent years, yes. Medusa, no one likes Vegas. What's up, Medusa? How you doing? Good.
The one funny thing about Vegas is that when they were during the expansion year, like again, a team in the desert did something that no Canadian team had done in decades, and that's make the finals. So at very least, that it was funny to use them to make fun of Canada.
It's interesting because, like, I'm over Vegas for having so much success as a new franchise. That's what the Avs were when they came here from Quebec. Won a Stanley Cup in their first year here, and were good, obviously, for a very long time in those Sakic, Forsberg, Waugh days.
Totally.
So we were probably hateable too, but people probably hated the Red Wings more because they should.
Yeah. Well, there you go, guys. We'll dive in more on Wednesday. We'll have a lot more coming at you for all the updates especially the NHL. But there's going to be a lot of new series that are going to be wrapping up and starting up in the NBA.
Don't you want to stay online for all 4 overtimes in the Kings Oilers game?
By the way, I told this, Scotty. I was dying during the we talk about rule changes in sports. Can I just say they need to abolish full-time intermissions for overtime hockey. I'm so over. Why are we waiting 15 full minutes for
so they
over?
can redo the ice.
So they can stop it. Make it 8 to 10 minutes. Shave off 5 and just get going again.
Can we talk about? There's got to be a more efficient way to get the ice ready than a Zamboni. Technology's pretty good these days. There's got to be something we can do that gets the ice quick. Listen, it's fun for the little kids at the game to watch the Zamboni drive around, do its thing, but let's pick up the pace here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, let's move this game along. I mean, even the commentators for that game, for the overtime, were like, all right, well, what do we talk about now? You could just tell they were just like,
or can't you get 2 Zambonis out there? Let's get 2 out there.
Just let's.
Although,
what's the problem?
If we never had Zambonis, we would have never had the Zamboni driver to beat the Leafs in the actual game.
That's true too. That's true. That was a history defining moment for sure. Black Market, will you?
Leafs. Sorry.
No, I was. Will you live stream Timberwolves ending the Lakers season on Wednesday? I don't know if we'll cover that full game specifically, but we'll definitely be checking in on it and getting some live reactions.
Zambo's the smartest thing I've ever heard on this stream.
Thank you. I don't know if I'm not sure if that's a thank you or I'm not sure how to respond to that.
Well, there you go. 2 Zambonis is the smartest thing I've ever heard on this stream. See?
I don't think Chris was listening to us in the slightest.
No, I was trying to get a couple things set up for.
You didn't even hear about the 2 Zambonis?
I heard you say the 2 Zamboni thing, and then he said that was the best idea. I heard you say it.
I'm chock full of good ideas, guys.
Always. Guys, we're gonna send you over. Devil Doc is live. Doc is live, so we're gonna go send you over to old Devil Doc. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for hanging out with us as we recap the NFL draft. We talked NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. We are going to continue to do that. Thank you for Jeepers on the credits for hanging out with us and being the only Jazz fan that has ever existed on this channel. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And guys, between now and Wednesday, go be a good person. Go live in the moment. We don't do that enough. Make sure you guys are just enjoying the things around you and take a minute. Enjoy it. But good show, guys. Thank you, Medusa. Appreciate that love.
Thanks, Medusa. I heard you got to meet Chris. Sorry.
Yeah, we got to hang out. So
sorry you didn't get to meet the better half.
That
would be me.
Get out of here, Rick. I don't even know how you're still here.
But
magic.
Anything else, Scotty?
Yeah. Nah, I appreciate you guys. It was good to be back after missing Wednesday. And I guess actually was last Sunday Easter. When was Easter? Was that I don't remember.
That was last Sunday.
Yeah, so I had a week off apparently. So good to get back in the lab. Love you guys. Have a good start to your week, and we'll see you on Wednesday to talk more playoffs
next time. Playoffs? Talk about playoffs?
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
Love you guys.
You kidding me? Playoffs?